Welcome to Behind the Desk here at Telarus TV. Joining us today is Jeff from Genesys. And Jeff and I go way back, but I'm still going to have him do his intro, and then we're going to dive right into what's going on in his world these days. So Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Brandon. Good to be here with you, and looking forward to chatting with you today.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your background. Some people, even before I get to the company part, everyone knows in this space where you've come from. You've been at Nice in Contact, and now you're over at Genesys. So I do want to talk about that choice. But before that, I mean, I also know you as the guy that, you know, when I have weekend time, I can get on the boat and go up to St. John. So tell us a little bit about you and life, and kind of what makes you tick first, and then I'll connect the company.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, you're right. That's my weekend is you know, on a boat, behind a boat, on the water, somewhere in Florida. So that you pegged me there. But no, I've been, you know, it's funny. I look back and I've been in the channel, in this master agent channel, for over 20 years. And in fact, I started with a small master agency back in 1999 in Florida. They're no longer around, but we got started. In fact, my first channel partners conference was September 11th, 2001 in Washington, D.C.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
To give you some idea of how long I've been, you know, a part of this amazing channel that we're all a part of here. So it's been a long run. I had, you know, I was on the telco side for a long time. I spent a large number of years at Paytech Communications. So for anybody listening to this that remembers Paytech, great company. Still made a lot of friends there. Still, it's the old joke was Paytech was like university, because, you know, everybody graduated and you have a lot of friends from there. So it was a good long run at Paytech, and then I joined my former company in 2011 and had a real great run there as well. And then yeah, last November I joined Genesys, and I'll tell you, it's, you know, 7 months, little over 7 months. It's been an amazing run. Yeah. And what's exciting about it for me was that, you know, I think everybody's familiar with the brand name Genesys. I think that, you know, when you think of Genesys, you think of three things: the band, the car, or the contact center, right? Yeah. And so we're obviously the contact center. And so, you know, I think that the name and the brand recognition was there, but Genesys, you know, just, you know, was more of a direct sales company. And I think their channel, because they were, you know, so steeped in premise technology back in Genesys Engage and through the i3 acquisition, Pure Connect, you know, their channel was largely centered around resellers. Right. And with the growth and development and just the explosive advancements that Genesys Cloud has made just in the last year alone, we can get into that in a little bit. But you know, they decided that the master agent channel was really where we needed to be to put Genesys Cloud front and center in front of the partner community. And so when that opportunity availed itself to me, it was exactly what I wanted to do. To me, it was the next chapter of my career, to be able to take everything that I had learned and had the privilege to be a part of over the last decade and apply it in a new way, and still get to work with you and the master agents and sub agents that I've had the privilege of working with for the last, you know, 20 years in some cases. So it was a really fantastic opportunity, and it has been a tremendous and really fun journey ever since. And I couldn't be happier where I am right now.
You know, it's funny as you mentioned that, because I did want to ask about that. I mean, you go from you know, a top tier cloud company in the contact center space, right? Everyone knows the brand of Genesys, like you said. I mean, they're mega in this space, but they also were tagged with, like you said, but maybe they're a premises-based company, or maybe they're the i3 company, right? Maybe it's from a technology perspective. And, you know, in all fairness, I, for one, was excited when you went there, because one of the either earned or unearned knocks was that their channel program wasn't really where it needed to be yet, you know. So I do I know just from partners' interest, they'd probably like to hear a little bit about, you know, kind of like what you did, what's going on, where you guys are going, because that's still a question. I know a lot of us felt a lot more comfortable about it, honestly, because of you're going to it. You know, when you take an industry veteran that knows how to do cloud and knows how to do the channel, obviously you get the jump ahead. But what has that journey been like for you internally, taking basically a primarily premises based or hybrid company and getting them to really function successfully, not only in the cloud, but in the cloud, in the channel?
It's been like, you remember the old Walt Disney World ride, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? There you go.
Yeah.
When I got here last November, we had two people at Genesys that were dedicated to supporting the master agent channel, and we essentially had two partners, and Telarus was one of them. Fast forward to now, we've got over 10 direct partners. We've got 10 people in the channel. We are putting up, when you look at our lead generation, our new opportunity registrations from a year ago to now, we're over 3x above what we did last year. We're seeing tremendous growth, which is very gratifying. Obviously, I mean, I got here and we had to retool some things in terms of commissions and compensation and quota retirement, just all on an internal level within
Right.
Genesys to create more synergies between the channel team and the direct sales team, because our model is a combined model, is a teamed model here. So when a partner registers an opportunity with us, obviously we don't rely on them to sell it. We provide our salespeople and our engineering people to assist in the sales process. And so it was important to make sure that everyone had a vested interest in the process and everyone would win together and nobody would have to leave anything on the table by working with a partner. And so we created, I think, the optimal model to really sort of promote channel and direct being able to work together. And so that was one. And then the next thing we had to do was we had to go and look at our agreements, all our master agent agreements, and we improved those. We made those, better and a little more open, a little more flexible. So we had to work on the agreement. So we got that fixed. Then we looked at the commissionable items that we had. So Genesys Cloud, there's a lot of ancillary features that are now commissionable. We're adding telco to the mix as well. So that will be commissionable going forward. So we had to improve that. And then we had to really evangelize it within the company. We had to let all of our salespeople know that we had this great channel and here was how to engage with us. And here's how to work with a partner. Here's what to say. Here's what not to say. Here's how the deal registration process is going to work. How do we do it as quickly and expeditiously and accurately as we can? So we really just had to come in and sort of kind of overhaul the whole thing that we had. We had a really strong beginning of a master agent channel, but it just needed to be developed. And
I think that's what that to me is what we've seen the most benefit from. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that was that work that you've done internally is really what we're hearing about now from partners, and even experiencing ourselves, quite frankly, being at Telarus, having this newfound connection, with Genesys. So that, I know that was tough, but that work is paying off.
I think so too. It would have been a great disservice to the partner community had we not done that, given all of the advancements and improvements that we've made to the Genesys Cloud platform. It's purpose built for this channel, and we needed to really make it as seamless and transparent as we possibly could. Yeah. So the other thing I did, just to tie that off, is I think the team that we've assembled. But when you look at my three leaders in Jay Littleford and Don Fellman and Carla Rorty, these are people that have been in the channel many years, have held management positions.
Well, two out of three isn't bad. I can't let Jay off the hook that easily. He ribs on me all the time. So
Right. Well.
you did good with 2 out of 3.
So yeah, but we've got some industry veterans, and I think that's really helped too from a legitimization standpoint. You know, people are like, well, I haven't really had the opportunity to sell Genesys yet, but you know, I know Don, or I know Carla, or I know Jay, or I know Jeff, or I know Wade, or I know Hyla. And so because of those legacy relationships that we've had with a lot of these partners from other places we've worked, you know, I think it's really helped, you know, instill confidence in the partner community.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me I want to talk a little bit about, we talked about the company, the work that you did there. You know, you guys are invested in the channel. We don't get those questions anymore. So now let's talk. I don't want to geek out too much, but I want to talk a little bit about the product itself, the Pure Cloud product, because it's sold it's sold a little differently from an all-inclusive perspective, from the fact that you guys have, you know, the UC, CC, everything tied together. So for a partner maybe who is unfamiliar with that, what would they need to know about the product?
I think the biggest thing, when we do, you know, after, you know, deals that we win, we do, you know, we do, you know, a survey with the customer, ask them, you know, questions about how the whole process was. And one of the universal things that we get as an attribute toward why we won the deal was the phrase all in one. And so when you look at what we have in our platform, which by the way, has been in commercial operation for 4 years now. I mean, this was basically Genesys Cloud, which began as Pure Cloud, was built natively in AWS on microservices architecture. So all the benefits that are intrinsically associated with that exist. And then you look at the way we've brought that to market and all of the features. So you've got a full suite of contact center as a service, unified communication, collaboration, workforce engagement management, AI infused across the platform as well, products like predictive engagement and others. So it is a really cohesive, all-in-one, ready for prime time, demos great, installs quickly, bills accurately. It's like I think everything that Genesys has learned from its 25+ year history of contact center, they have instilled into Genesys Cloud.
Awesome.
And it's yeah, it's really cool. And I know you've seen it, and so I hopefully you would agree.
Yeah, I do. That's why I wanted to have this conversation. I think it's good information to get out there, and honestly, on the heels of that, on the heels of the actual technology and the way it works, let's tell the partners a little bit about success areas so they can kind of figure it out. And I don't really want to pigeonhole you guys because you cover such a wide variety. But if there are specific either deal sizes or verticals, you know, that you've seen extreme success in, I hate that, you know, the corny term we use is sweet spot, right? And all you guys are adaptable now, so the sweet spots keep getting bigger and bigger. But where's good success? Where can a customer feel confident, a partner feel confident presenting you guys to a customer?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I'll tell you, one of the things I think that's unique to us, and if it's not unique to us, I think it's something that's very important, and it's the way that we stratify our sales organization. And what I mean by that is, I think we'd all agree that a customer with a 100 seat contact center opportunity is going to look and feel very different than a customer with a 2,000 seat contact center engagement. And so what Genesys has done, which I think is really smart, is we have stratified our sales organization into 4 main categories. So on the low end, we've got what we call our velocity team, which they sell contact center opportunities that span from 0 to, or really 0, 1, 20 to 100 seats, you know, the smaller end. And then we've got the mid-market team. They cover 101 seats up to 400. We've got commercial that covers 401 up to 1,000. And then we've got enterprise that's 1,001 and beyond. And what's great about that is that the sales teams that cover those specific areas are skilled in those areas. So, you don't have to worry about, as a sales partner that is bringing 1,000-seat opportunity to a company and getting assigned a rep that's used to selling 200-seat opportunities.
Yeah.
You're going to get the enterprise rep that has that experience. And on the flip side, if it's a 50-seat opportunity, you're going to get assigned a sales rep in conjunction with my team that has expertise selling 50-seat opportunities. Mm-hmm. So it makes that matchup much, much better. And it makes, I think, a much more relatable, more successful sales engagement by doing it that way.
Awesome. Well, speaking of sales engagement, not to put you on a spot, but do you have a case study type of mind, somewhere where you guys won that our partners love stories. They love things that they can relate to what they're doing, right? We could talk about technology all day long, but when they hear about a deal that you've done and some of the components of it, that usually jogs their memory. You got a case study top of mind, a deal you guys have done recently?
Yeah, well, I've got a few, and I'll tell you one of them that I think is worth noting is I won't mention their name, but I'll mention that they're a large global rideshare company.
Fair enough.
They obviously they had challenges, premise architecture, a mix of different architectures, not cohesive, the whole thing. So they moved 3 lines of business to Genesys Cloud, 17,000 users in 25 countries, 30 million phone calls across our platform, and a fast, efficient install we were able to do for them. Referenceable customer, just really, 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 I think shows for people that weren't sure Genesys Cloud was ready for the enterprise. I mean, there's a really good example of a scenario where that was the case. But to expand upon that, especially in our new world of COVID-19, we obviously being a legacy enterprise company, we still have a large customer base that's on Engage and Connect. And so we had a number of our customers that, were affected by social distancing and not being able to work remotely. And so, our company's initial mission from, the moment that we went into this new world that we're in now was to take care of our existing customers. Before we even thought about an offer for new customers, we wanted to put together an offer for our existing customers. And basically we offered them 90-day free trials. We'll stand them up in 48 hours and get their people working again, And so obviously what that's created since then is a tsunami of customers that want to migrate off of prem to cloud. And so I think, to expand upon a case study would be that I think there's, a whole marketplace of case studies of customers that are, their boat's been beached, and until the tide comes up, they've got really they can't go very far. Yeah. And so I think now is especially the time that partners should be looking at customers. Good verticals to look at would be e-commerce, healthcare, finance, high tech, things like that. I think are good targets to look at. But anybody that has been affected by social distancing, anybody on a premise contact center, I really think they're at a point now where it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of they have to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I think, I would encourage anyone listening to this, and I know you say this all the time, Brandon, but anybody listening to you or to this video or to any other video would be, now's the time to have the conversation. And,
absolutely.
You and I go back a ways, and we know a certain partner that sold MPLS circuits to a big e-commerce company for a lot of years. had the
Yeah,
presence of mind to ask, what are you using those circuits for? And the
exactly.
partner said, we're using them for an IVR. He said, what's an IVR?
I remember. Yeah,
And,
yeah. They ended up having one of the largest deals of the year.
you got us
So
involved. Exactly.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
So same
Let's talk
applies
about
here.
that part a little bit. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was done.
Okay. I want to talk about our partners themselves, the sales partners, right? You know, they're juggling a lot of things. They're trying to figure a lot of stuff out. Let's say they go through the process. They're working in your sweet spot. They know Genesys is the right solution for them. But you know, I mean, they have a lot of things going on. They want it to be easy, man. So what's the engagement like? How do they get you guys involved in what they're doing?
Super easy. So they can, when they have an opportunity, you can register it one of two ways. Contact your SPDM at Telarus or your partner support manager to register the opportunity. They can do it for you. Or you can contact somebody on my team, Jay or Hyla or whoever your channel manager is that you work with, and they can help you get it registered right away. And then from that point, we'll approve the registration. We'll set up a discovery call with you, figure out how the partner wants to engage in the process and what our role might be in that process, and we go off to the races. We have pre-sales engineering available. We have our sales reps available, so we can kickstart the project however the partner wishes to, given the circumstances and whatever cadence they wish to. So it couldn't be easier to get a ball in play, so to speak, or to get an opportunity in play. And then, we'll help you every step of the way. But we try to make it, as easy as possible without having too many rules and regulations to create complexity. So, we can help you as far as training is concerned. So we've got materials to be able to help you spot a deal, help you engage a client, things to say, things to talk to, things to look for. We can help you with all that. We've got data sheets, we've got brochures, we've got, anything you would need to share with a prospect about Genesys Cloud. We've got it available to you. And so we can help you in that way as well.
Awesome. Well, that definitely sounds easy. I mean, that wasn't too hard. I followed it, so that means these guys can do it as well. So that's good. That's really what I wanted to get to. But I mean, this is your peek behind the curtain. Anything about the company or the program that I didn't mention that you want to share with the audience?
No, I think we covered a lot. I do want to just kind of summarize, a couple of things. Keep us in mind, I know we talked about a lot about, we're Genesys, we've been around a long time and have a lot of experience in the enterprise, which we do. But Genesys Cloud is really, plays very, very well in that SMB and mid-market space. In fact, 60% of the leads that we've generated so far this year have been in that SMB and mid-market space. And so that's a growing area for us. And one thing I would tell you to look for is if an opportunity's got contact center with unified communications and collaboration, and it's 500 seats or less, those are deals that we are winning left and right because of our UC play and because it's an all-in-one solution. Additionally, our pricing is flexible and transparent. It's on our website. We have 3 bundles. We've got named and concurrent, and we even have hourly pricing models, and they're all listed on our website, so you can see what's included in each of those. So there's a lot of pricing flexibility. I think I mentioned AI and WEM is embedded in the platform as well. And the other thing I'll tell you is when you look at a company like us in Genesys Cloud, built on microservices architecture, Brandon, we're doing 3 to 5 feature releases per week on Genesys Cloud. Last year alone, we did 150 feature releases. And so these are like your iPhone. So when a feature is released, it's just updated and you now have it available to you. So we're doing massive investment in Genesys Cloud. In fact, we doubled our R&D spend over the last 2 years alone. And I know some of our competitors are just reading some public statements, have tightened up R&D spend as a percentage of revenue. we've added, we've doubled our headcount. We've increased our investment in that. We're going to continue to do so. So Genesys Cloud is going to keep getting, better and better and more robust. So if you haven't seen it, if you haven't demoed it, I really, really would encourage you to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to show it to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, all the better for us. I really am, both personally and professionally. I'm glad that you're there. I've always thought their products were competitive. Their placement was good. And I think they needed some of the right people, and
Yep.
and they getting you, and then you bringing in. I mean, when you're talking Carla and Don, I mean they're people that everyone knows. So kudos to you for building a great team. And I'll tell you at Telarus, we're excited. We're
Yep.
excited about the future we have with Genesys, and I'm excited about getting more partners to understand how to sell it. So thank you, sir, for the time. Thank you for giving us a peek behind the desk, as it were. And I look forward to seeing you out in the field once we're allowed to get back at it.
Well, yeah, once we're allowed to, I can't wait. I've been on the ground since February 26th, and I can't wait to get back out and get in front of everybody again. So look
I
forward to
agree.
it.
There you have it, everyone. That's your peek behind the curtain, behind the desk, as it were, with Genesys. Take some time, go on their website, reach out to them, learn more about how you can use their technology to be successful and generate business with your customers. That's it for now.